What a trophy. What an absolute trophy. Beautiful trophy. Man, I mean to tell you.
Back in 1928, when Frank Pembroke Huckins created the Huckins Yacht Corporation, he was already an experienced boat builder, and the Huckins family had been building boats in New England for more than 300 years.
My grandfather's yachts were based on a hull that he invented. They were meticulously made. He and his men were concerned about the quality of their boats, not how many were made.
Today, Huckins Yacht Corporation is still family-owned. We still employ craftsmen who have been building Huckins yachts for decades. But there are new faces here, and a new spirit. The man who now designs Huckins yachts is John Hall, and he's one of a rare breed. He's a yacht designer, and there aren't many of them. It was John Hall who designed the newest Huckins, the 60-foot Huckins Kirkline Sportfisherman. Today's Huckins Kirkline 60 is the fourth generation. Each new Kirkline has been different from its predecessors, and the newest Kirkline represents refinements of the earlier boats. Huckins is a custom boat builder. Every Huckins boat is unique, including its hull. That can be done because Huckins fiberglass hulls are not made in molds, but individually formed in air-ex. And although the hulls conform to Frank Pembroke Huckins' quadraconic principles, differences in length, beam, draft, weight, and purpose require significant variations in the design of the hull and everything else about the boat. So Huckins designer John Hall actually created a completely unique design for the Huckins Kirkline 60. Hall computer tested the hull as he went along.
Today you can test the design of a boat with computers to check on its performance under a variety of conditions, wave heights, wave spans, and speed. So I asked the computer what this boat could do. The results are this boat is designed to maintain 35 knots through 8-foot seas indefinitely.
That's her performance with two 760 horsepower MAN diesels. Made by the Mercedes group of companies, the MAN diesels are 4-stroke engines, very quiet, and very close to being the most fuel-efficient engines on the market. Another advantage, you don't have to take these engines out of the boat to overhaul them. They can be completely broken down within the boat, and there's room in the Huckins engine room to work on them. The Huckins 60-foot Sportfisherman, with its two 760 horsepower engines running at 30 knots, can get a fisherman 60 nautical miles out in just 2 hours. Incidentally, the engines burn 54 gallons an hour at cruising and 14 or 15 gallons an hour when trolling. So you can get out there and stay just about as long as you want. With its 1,200 gallons of fuel capacity, the Huckins Kirkline 60-foot Sportfisherman has a range of 600 nautical miles at its 30-knot cruising speed. The Huckins Kirkline cockpit is big and clean. No clutter, just a Murray fighting chair with plenty of space around it, and combings that are exactly 27 1/2 inches high, so that when you get out of your chair and brace yourself against the combing, the support is the same wherever you go. Naturally, there's a full opening transom gate to bring in the big ones. Clear and uncluttered as it is, the cockpit has a tremendous amount of space for gear, bait, whatever. There are a lure hanging locker, 8 tackle drawers, a DuPont Corian sink. You scratch it, you can sand to scratch out, and a cutting board cabinet, an iced bait center, a front opening freezer with a top opening beverage cooler and adjacent locker, a huge refrigerated fish box under the floor, with drains if you prefer to ice your fish, an oval circulating live bait well with a capacity of 21 gallons, storage space under the steps to the salon, and almost all of these storage areas have lids that provide a great deal of working space. In addition, There's a cabinet that isn't a cabinet at all. Just lift the lid and open the front, and the cabinet reveals a ladder to the engine room. A ladder, by the way, that's very close to the ladder to the fly bridge. Also, tucked safely out of the way, there are hoses for fresh and seawater washdown. The cockpit is self-bailing. The sole slopes 4 inches to the back, and there are 2 scuppers to whisk the water away. Speaking of drains, instead of having a lot of little holes all over the hull, all drains, sink, air conditioning, etc., are consolidated into 2 points, one midship, one at the transom. Result? A cleaner-looking hull. The controls on the flybridge are placed so that whether the helmsman or captain and his mate are sitting or standing, they have full vision of the cockpit below. 2 comfortable Murray helm chairs sit side by side in front of the controls, and the electronic console within fingertip range, which is hidden safe from dust and theft until pneumatically raised. There are no electronic boxes overhead. Incidentally, the Danforth compass, with its magnified letters, is positioned a full 14 feet away from the helmsman, lined up with the stern of the boat for easier steering. To add to your ease, steering is high-drive hydraulic assisted. The side decks are 18 inches wide, which may seem excessive until you're running in heavy seas, and then the grab rail on the flybridge will come in handy until you reach the bow rail. Beneath the flybridge, and a couple of steps up from the cockpit, is the salon. The look is fresh, but timeless. There's no 80s look or 90s look about the interior of the Huckins Kirkline Sportfisherman. The look comes from the beautiful red cherry wood used in the joinery, from the colors of the carpeting, the draperies, the walls, and the small appointments from the indirect lighting, from the soft rounded lines of the furniture. All in all, the mood is soft, warm, relaxing. Huckins interiors are elegant, but it's a subtle elegance. The understated elegance. An elegance that discerning people, the kind of people who buy Huckins yachts, will appreciate. The salon also has extra storage for rods, a wet bar with hot and cold water, an ice maker, a locker for glasses and liquor, tinted safety glass windows, a built-in entertainment center with remote-controlled color TV and cassette stereo with built-in speakers. The galley is a small but luxurious kitchen with cherry cabinets, Corian countertops and backsplashes, decorated color-coordinated double-bowl sink, vinyl floor, refrigerator freezer, cooktop, microwave convection oven, disposal, compactor, washer dryer, and, of course, a window to look out of. Forward and below the salon level are the 3 staterooms and 2 baths. They are also wondrously light and bright. You may fail to remember that the hull of the Huckins Kirkline Sportfisherman is unbroken by any windows. The light and brightness of the staterooms comes from the sky above. Each stateroom has its own skylight, a hatch you can open. The fixtures in the baths are, again, understated in their elegance. With one-piece Corian bowls and vanity tops, personal-type shower heads, built-in nightlights under the vanity, circular showers with overhead lighting, and transparent cylindrical shower doors which rotate into the walls. All of the staterooms are carpeted, equipped with a cedar-lined wardrobe. The owner's stateroom has too, drawer storage, and comfortable berths. The owner's stateroom has a queen-size berth with a great mirror on the bulkhead behind it to increase the visual space in the room. There's a strategically placed built-in TV set and a VHS video cassette recorder. The details we've mentioned, details you can see, are accompanied by other details which are mostly out of sight by all but a mechanically inclined owner or his crew. For example, there are miles of wiring in a Huckins yacht, miles of wiring brought together in bundles called looms. You will never find a twisted wire in a Huckins loom. All the mechanical components are tagged and identified, so anyone who works on the equipment we'll know what's what. Spare parts are attached to other parts, and many parts which look manufactured are handmade, built out of a single piece of brass, so we can be sure they're strong. Even the piping, water and hydraulic, are carefully and symmetrically placed, again, so they're easy to follow. Because Huckins boats are built to last, they're built so they can be easily serviced. We built the Huckins 60 to catch fish, and we hadn't given it a chance. That's when we decided to enter the billfish tournament at Walker's.
You know, we don't know whether it's going to be bright or dark. If it's bright tomorrow, we'll probably start off with some bright colors, and if it's dark, then we may go with some blacks and purples, blacks and pinks. I'm going to re-rig this one. This just happens to be one of my favorite lures. You can see he's been, yeah, we got some big fish on him. 545 was the last one, so we're gonna pull him tomorrow. He's got a lot of luck. Then we make a half hitch, go around like this, go through the eye, come up just like this. We just make like a half hitch right at the top on this side, and we go around one time with an overhand knot just to end it up. That's it.
Nice job, Captain. That's nice. I like that.
Okay, if we get a strike, don't pick up the rods and reels. We just leave them in the rod holder initially, because what will happen is we're going to gun the boat to set the hook on the fish. And when we do, as soon as the boat slows down, this is a very critical part. We want to back the drag down to the E on strike, just like this. Okay? Be very careful, though, when you're doing that. Yeah, don't overdo or it's all over. So we just want to back it down to E. That'll give us about 20 pounds of drag to fight the fish on the rest of the time. We'll pretty much leave it there. Watch that line. Reel it forward real quick. There he is. Woo!
That fish was following us all day, just waiting for the clock to land.
That's right. Beautiful trophy. Man, I mean to tell you.
At the end of each day of the tournament, we asked Captain Don Combs of C&H Lures to comment on what he was learning about the boat. And here's what he said on successive days.
Great fishing platform. It runs real well on a head sea. It's dry. And it's real fast, unbelievable. We were running 2,100 RPMs and cruising at about 25 knots on the way in, so I think she'll turn up around 25. I'm not real sure, but boat's fine. Handles well, backs down, real nice on the fish. I'm real pleased with it. The speed's fast. We cruise out in the morning at 28 knots. Top end's about 31. And it's real economical on fuel. Cruising speed, I think she's burning about 54 gallons an hour, which you start comparing that with some of the heavier boats, and it's really economical. So, real fine fishing boat. I like it. I can see the chair, very important. Watching the angler when he's fighting the fish. Backs down well. Real fine. Easy to put in the slip when we get back to the dock. It's a dream. And it's hard to come out on a boat and catch fish. It's really hard to say just how good a fishing boat this is. I mean, what I'm saying, it could be really a lot better than we even know, because to come out here and catch 3 billfish in 2 or 3 days of fishing is real good.
Bill King was captain on the Huckins Bree when it won the IBL Grand Prix. He's thoroughly tested the Huckins 60. He's very familiar with production boats, and we've played our videotapes for him. Here's what Captain Bill King has to say about Huckins versus the high-performance production boats.
The sea kindliness of her entry forward is really something that you almost have to experience at a cruising 30 knots. I've run all your large Bertrams, all the Hatterses, at high speeds and in big seas, as well as flat, calm seas, and there's no comparison. The difference being just a production boat, pretty inefficient hulls as far as your fiberglass models when you compare them to the Huckins 60. She just completed a trip to Walker's Cay where she raised all of the species of billfish, whites, blues, as well as sail. And so we know that there's no weird noises. She's a good, quiet boat underneath. Doesn't seem to spook fish. The boat is fine-tuned. It's not a matter of where most custom boats take 6 months to a year to have all the bugs and problems worked out of her. The Huckins 60 is basically ready to go.
Well, now you've seen the Huckins 60 in action. It's a Huckins, and it's a true sport fisherman. In short, a Huckins yacht is a cut above all others. No other yacht can be compared to a Huckins. A Huckins, as our owners will tell you, is in a class by itself. The Huckins Kirkline Sportfisherman was built to demonstrate what a great sport fisherman a Huckins could be. But because it was not built in collaboration with an owner, it may not be in every way precisely what you've dreamed of. But no matter. If you'll tell us what you want, we can alter the boat to your individual desires, or design and build a Huckins Kirkline Sportfisherman of any length to your order. And in either case, with paint and gold leaf, emblazon the name on the transom that you want for your dream.
Huckins has been developing a service program, and it's based on one thought. We believe that we can do the best job in service because we have the knowledge of construction. If you know how to build a boat, you can repair a boat. That not only goes for a Huckins, it goes for any boat. We have the in-depth design department to give our service people the insights into whys and hows. And this gives us the capability of doing the job faster and more efficient. We're expanding our facility and now have a 40-ton travel lift. We have constructed a new paint facility which has an opening height of 36 feet to the top of the door, which will allow us to paint the majority of the sport fishermen boats with towers without removing the towers. The basic line is that Huckins wants to expand their service to all those people who have the pride and respect of their boats as our Huckins owners have in the service that we've performed over the years.